Welcome to episode 1, I guess, of my Marvel movie marathon. It's a little bit of a misnomer. I don't remember if I've already said that or not. It's a little bit of a misnomer because I'm going to be watching shows as well as the movies, but I liked the triple alliteration, so we're going with it. Typically, I would probably go over the stats and where I'm at, but this is the first episode, so I haven't watched anything for it yet. I'm filming this after I've already watched everything for this week, for this vlog, but this is going at the beginning. Let me think. Okay, so what did I watch in this vlog? Let's talk about what you're gonna see me watch in this episode. We're starting out with Howard the Duck, the Blade trilogy, Daredevil 2003, I think it was from 2003, the first 3 X-Men movies, the Hulk 2003, and that's it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 movies in total in this vlog, which is just over 1,000 minutes, which is a lot. It was a lot. So this is your warning. If you don't want spoilers for any of those movies, don't watch this because I'm gonna have spoilers all over the place. That's really it for the intro. Apologies for my phone footage, which is not well lit the way that this is, nor is it necessarily as good sound quality. Yeah, and that is it for the intro. So let's watch Howard the Duck. Hi! It is day 1 of week 1 of watching almost everything in the Marvel universe. I still need to come up with a name. Hopefully I'll have one by the time this video actually comes out. Today is August 19th. So let me show you. I have my little calendar. I printed it out. I have a bulletin board that it will be going on. Let's watch Howard the Duck from 1986.
Is, what was, and what will be start here with the words, in the beginning there was Howard the Duck.
I just finished Howard the Duck. A very weird movie. It has very good reviews on Amazon, actually, which is... I wonder if it's a nostalgia thing. Didn't realize that it was George Lucas, but that's cool. It wasn't bad, necessarily. It was just not my taste, personally. And, you know, it's 40 years old, almost, so it has the, I guess, charm of a really old sci-fi movie. Old sci-fi and old horror, I find, are just, like, kind of funny sometimes in the way that effects worked back then. I'm sure they were great for the time. I'm not dissing them by any means. They weren't bad. It's just technology has changed. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't paying attention for a lot of that. It was an almost 2-hour movie. I promise I will be paying more attention to other movies. This one just didn't even interest me in the first place. So I see why he's referenced and stuff. I just realized that I didn't actually give a rating of Howard the Duck. I rated it 2 stars on Letterboxd. Maybe if I paid more attention to it I'd like it better, but it's just not my kind of movie. So that's it for Howard the Duck. Hello. Today is week 1, day 3. Yesterday I did not watch the first Blade movie like I was supposed to because I was waiting for my hold to come in from the library, but it did today. So I am going to pick up the Blade movies and Hulk 2003. So yeah, come with me to the library real quick. That's why I'm wearing real clothes. Pretending it's fall even though it is 70 degrees Fahrenheit outside. I don't want summer anymore. Anyway, yeah, that's come to the library with me, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna watch the Blade movies. I'm technically behind, so hang on. Let me get to my calendar. So it is the 21st. I was supposed to watch the first Blade yesterday, but I didn't. I made this yesterday. Sorry, I'm probably shaking so much. I'm in such a weird position. I didn't have the hold wasn't in from the library yet, so I didn't have the DVD, so I couldn't watch it. So I'm watching at least the first 2 Blade movies today, because then I have 2 days to watch Blade Trinity and Daredevil. It is like 9 p.m., so I'll be up late tonight. I am going to do a puzzle. This is my puzzle board. This is the puzzle I'm doing. It's like old books, antique books. And I have popcorn today in a popcorn bowl. So, the first Blade movie is over. I just finished it. I understand now why everybody was so excited to see him in Deadpool and Wolverine. He is very cool, very badass. Karen, however, I'm in love with her. So I'm gonna watch Blade 2. It's like 11, almost 11:30. I'm a night owl, so I'm gonna watch another movie while I do more of the puzzle that I started. I don't know if also in the soundtrack for Blade slaps. You can hear it right now because the credits are rolling still. So good. Yeah, so I'm doing a puzzle. You guys probably don't actually care, but I got everything sorted and I started on the frame. I have this one corner and then the other corner piece up in the corner where it'll go. I haven't even tried to figure anything else out yet. I just found that book, so I did the book. So I'm gonna start Blade 2 now. I have been stopped by the cat. Look at her. She wants pets so bad. Yeah. This is Callie. Everyone say hello to Callie. She's my elderly cat. We've had her since I was like 10, I think. I actually don't remember what year we got them. I just wanted to introduce her. My little elderly kitty. Look at how cute she is. Something I forgot to mention, reviewing, whatever, the first Blade movie, the effects, I mean, it was made in 1998, so the effects were like a little bit cheesy, and that's not a bad thing. It was 1998. I'm gonna be saying this until we get into the more modern movies. Some of the effects are just cheesy because that's what things were at the time. I just started Blade 2. I'm literally 5 minutes in, and I can already tell that the effects are like a little bit better, so they were definitely learning, and I'm assuming bigger budget for Blade 2. Also, I thought Whistler was dead. Apparently Whistler's not dead. Either I missed something while I was doing my puzzle, or we were supposed to think he was dead, and then now he's not. So Blade 2 I hope you can hear me over the music. I don't feel like standing up. I also hope you can see me. It's 1:30 a.m. Now that you can, hopefully I actually hear me better. So Blade 2, I think I have more thoughts about it than I had for the first Blade, which is funny because I definitely watched less of it attentively. I got so distracted at one point. But I went to log both movies on Letterboxd. I am logging everything on Letterboxd, and I will be ranking every movie on an MCU list or a Marvel movie list. I shouldn't call it the MCU because they're not all a part of the MCU, but they are all Marvel property. Anyway, I went to rank the Blade movies, or not rank the Blade movies, but just mark them as watched and leave a review. And somebody said something along the lines of nobody knows how to pose a comic book hero the way Wesley Snipes does in the Blade movies. And so I was thinking about that while I watched this movie, the second one, and they were right. This is about both of them. They are, believe they're classed as horror, so this makes sense, but there is definitely a lot of gore. There's vampires, so there's a lot of blood in both movies. So if you decide to go watch them, just be prepared for that. I know some people that blood especially really sets them off. What else? I had something else I wanted to say. I gave the first movie 3.5 stars and the second movie 3 stars. They're good movies. I want y'all to remember, okay, and this is something that I have had to say about rating books multiple times as well, because I feel like people just don't get how star rating works sometimes. And yes, it can be a little bit different for everyone, but logically the scale that it's built on is a 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best, which means that 3 is average. 3 is still good, it's just average. It's an average good quality-ish movie. It's not a bad movie, it's not a bad thing. I want y'all to remember that everything starts at 3 stars for me. If I get impressed, it'll go up higher. If I don't like it, it'll be lower. Howard the Duck is lower because I didn't like it. But these I enjoyed. I didn't nothing super stood out to me. Some of the lines in these movies, it's another thing that the Letterboxd reviews pointed out. In the first movie, he says something about motherfuckers always want to go ice skating uphill. I don't know what that means. I don't know if anybody knows what that means. I don't know why it's in there. I don't know if it's a comic book reference. I don't know. And then in this one, he says, "Can you blush?" right before he kills one of the villains. I don't know. I don't know what those lines. I don't know if they're references to something. Somebody please tell me. Otherwise, I think they're just weird. Not that's not a bad thing. Again, not a bad thing. Just weird, but kind of iconic. I now understand. I fully understand why people were so excited to see Wesley Snipes when he came on in Deadpool and Wolverine. I definitely had something else that I was going to say, and I don't remember what it was. That's week 1, day 3. I have officially watched 3 movies. Yeah. Good night. I just remembered last night I was recapping both of the Blade movies that I watched. And I was there was something else I was going to say. There was something else I had in my brain that I was going to say. I just remembered what it was. At the end of Blade 2, Nyssa is dying and she wants to see the sunrise. And so Blade brings her outside to watch it because she's going to die anyway. And instead of kind of burning, I feel the way that a couple of the other people who died by sun burned up, she kind of burns and turns into ash and flies away. And it was giving me Endgame flashbacks. And yeah, I just wanted to mention that I got Endgame flashbacks at the end. And then earlier today, I saw the saddest edit that I've seen of Peter Parker in a while. That's all. Sorry if I look a mess. I'm gonna watch Blade Trinity while I eat my lunch today. And then I will be watching Daredevil later. Because yesterday was one of those days where I just couldn't concentrate on anything all day. I was scrolling most of the day. I watched short YouTube videos. I could not concentrate on anything, so I didn't watch any movies. But it's okay. because today is week 1, day 5, Saturday, the last day of the week for week 1, the only day without 7 weeks. The only week without 7 days in the series because I started on a Tuesday. Today's the last day, so I have to watch Blade Trinity and Daredevil today. I'm pretty excited about Daredevil. Blade Trinity less so, but we'll see. We'll see if it's any good, in my opinion. I'm sure it'll be good. We'll see if I enjoy it. So let's get into Blade Trinity. I already had to pause it because why did Ryan Reynolds just do the intro? How many times has this man been in a Marvel movie? What? Deadpool twice, 2 different iterations of Deadpool, and now he's in this? I did just look it up. He's Hannibal King. I don't know what that means yet. Also, I hate that I recognized his voice so fast, but whatever. Ryan Reynolds is in this, apparently. Shows you how much I know. 11 minutes into the movie, and I've already had to pause twice. The first time, well, 3 times. The first time because of Ryan Reynolds, the realization that I already had. The second time because the disc kept skipping because I am watching this on a DVD I borrowed from the library, but I dusted it with like a microfiber cloth. Don't worry, I'm not ruining a disc. I like dusted it and it seems to be fine now, so I guess there was just dust caught in something. And then this third time, just now, that I'm pausing the movie, is because Jessica Biel is in it. I saw her face and I recognized her face and her voice and I was like, who is that? I know her. So this movie has the most actors that I've recognized out of the Marvel movies that I've watched thus far. I couldn't tell you what I actually know her from. I didn't look at her list of movies that she's been in, but I know her. So, okay, actually, so I lied. I just assumed that the person I recognized was Jessica Biel because she was the first listed on Google for the cast. However, I'm now like, she's wearing a lot of makeup, so don't come for me in the comments, but I was looking at it and I was like, no, that's not Jessica Biel. I wouldn't recognize Jessica Biel that fast either. No, it's Parker Posey, whose name I wouldn't have known, but she was in Josie and the Pussycats, which is a movie that I watched a lot growing up. Don't ask me why, and that's why I recognized her. Getting the feeling she plays a similar kind of vibe character in this from what I remember of Josie and the Pussycats, which honestly is not a lot. How the hell did I recognize her that fast? Like, not I didn't know who she was, but like I had this image of her. I knew her face, you know, from the profile. Anyway, that's my realization. 4th pause in 13 minutes. I know that guy. He's in Pitch Perfect. Do you guys like my references? Anyway, Jessica Biel has made her appearance and she is badass. I don't know, guys. This Blade has the worst rating to the general public out of all 3, I think. I'll double check that after I've watched all 3. So far, I might like it the best. We'll see, I guess. Okay, so I finished Blade Trinity. It might be my favorite, probably like tied with the first Blade movie, just because I know people in it and it's like a little bit newer and it was clearly higher budget because it's the 3rd movie in the series. Ryan Reynolds plays the same character in everything I've seen him in except for maybe The Proposal. Also, Patton Oswalt, the shorter guy, they're like weapons specialist kind of in this, plays a very similar character in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I made a note of it, so I will talk about it again later when I get to him in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's in the later seasons, I believe. It was a fun movie. I enjoyed it. Thoughts. I don't have very many thoughts on it. Maybe I will later. Maybe I just need to marinate on it a little bit. I'm gonna do a few things, and then I will see you again when I'm about to watch Daredevil later. Hello. It's later in the day on the same day. I am about to watch Daredevil 2003, which is apparently a 2-hour movie. Lovely. You may notice, I don't remember if I said this before, but you may notice I'm not going particularly in order with the Phase Zero movies, and that's because it doesn't really matter. The order matters a lot more once I get to the MCU and not just Marvel movie adaptations, which Phase Zero is all just Marvel movie adaptations, even though some of them are now like integrated into the MCU. So that's why I'm not really watching them in order. I figure it just doesn't really matter that much. And I'd rather watch all of the Blade movies at once and like watch that whole trilogy, get the whole story. Same with X-Men. I'm going to be watching all 3 of those next week. I didn't realize that Daredevil and Elektra are connected. Daredevil is on Disney Plus, and it has Jennifer Garner in it, who I know is Elektra because she's in Deadpool and Wolverine as Elektra. So I didn't realize that they're connected, or I probably would have watched those in the same week, but we're committed to it now. It's fine. But that is why I'm not watching those, like these ones in exact release order. When we get to the MCU, I will be watching things exactly in the release order. Although with the shows, that's a little hard to do. Technically, if I wanted to be really, really, really extra about it, I could break down the shows by episodes and watch the movies where they came out. But I'm, as of now, not doing that. That is absolutely subject to change. Maybe I will split it up when I get there. I know that there are places where I can find how to split them up and what order they came out in and everything. But anyway, for now, I'm gonna watch Daredevil 2003 on Disney Plus. It's my last movie for week 1. We're almost through week 1. I love that. Happy Hogan is in this. Not the guy who plays him, Jon Favreau, is in Daredevil 2003. The amount of actors who are in a Marvel adaptation and then in the MCU later is actually kind of insane, and I think I'm going to start keeping a list of them. So far we have Jon Favreau. Ryan Reynolds, I guess, counts because Deadpool is a part of the MCU now, like canonically, I think. Patton Oswalt, I know that they say Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't canon to the MCU, but at one point it was, so I'm gonna count it. I'm sure there's gonna be more, and maybe I missed a couple from Blade. I feel like I did. I feel like there was somebody else at one point that I mentioned, that I like noticed, but I can't remember. I'm gonna start a list. I'm not even kidding. I'm going to make a new tab in my spreadsheet that's just a list of the actors who appear as multiple different characters in the MCU, or like in Marvel movies in general, not in the MCU. So like Ryan Reynolds, because he's Hannibal King in Blade Trinity, but then he's Deadpool, obviously. And then Jon Favreau, who we don't know his name yet in this, but he's in Daredevil. And then he's Happy Hogan and like a producer for the Iron Man movies. But then like Jennifer Garner, who's in this as Elektra, and Wesley Snipes, who's obviously Blade, when they come to the MCU, they're coming to the MCU as the same characters that they played in these Marvel movie adaptations. So I'm gonna make a list. Is it bad that these days when I see Ben Affleck, I immediately think Matt Damon? I don't know if that's like a thing that a lot of people talk about, or if I see a lot of it because I am from Massachusetts and they're both from Massachusetts, but if you know, you know. Anyway, I forgot that this was Ben Affleck. He's finally not wearing a mask or glasses that cover his eyes, and I realized, oh, this is Ben Affleck in his prime.
By messenger. It's your invitation to the black and white ball, the Grand. +1.
Is Meredith Grey? I did not know Ellen Pompeo was in this. You're telling me that Evanescence's 2 most popular famous songs, Bring Me to Life and My Immortal, were in this movie before their album was even released? I didn't hear Bring Me to Life if it's already played, and I don't think I would miss that, but I heard My Immortal just now during the... Oh my god. Dare I say that Evanescence on a movie soundtrack is more iconic than the Guardians of the Galaxy 80s music soundtracks. As somebody who loves Guardians of the Galaxy, I was just looking at the Wikipedia pages, and both Bring Me to Life and My Immortal were on their Wikipedia pages say that they were released after their use in the Daredevil soundtrack. Now, My Immortal came out, it was a single, I think. It came out after the movie premiered. Bring Me to Life did come out like a month before the movie premiered, but still, I'm in shock over this. That is fucking insane to me. Yeah, okay. Now that I've had that realization to camera, I'm gonna finish the movie. Okay, I looked at the full album track list. Nickelback, Hoobastank, Rob Zombie. This movie is iconic. The soundtrack is I'm gonna be listening to the soundtrack. If this soundtrack makes it into my top albums of this week, don't judge me. Okay? This movie is iconic now. I'm gonna give it an extra half star from what I think it deserves just for the soundtrack, and I'm not kidding. I will say it in my Letterboxd review. It's playing. I knew I wouldn't miss it. This is iconic. I'm freaking out right now. Outside of just having an iconic soundtrack and starring Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner, both of whom are wonderful actors, it's a pretty good movie. It might be, and maybe, I do think this is maybe partially just because it's from 2003, and so like I personally, yes, I was like 7 when it came out, but I watched movies from this era growing up, so it's kind of nostalgic for me, I guess, and that evokes good feelings. I do think I liked it better than Blade. I'm sorry. I just liked it. I felt more connected to the characters and the story, and yeah, maybe that is partially because I'm biased towards the actors, and also absolutely because they used Evanescence and other amazing musicians on the soundtrack. I don't know, I think I'm gonna be rating this one not 5 stars, god no. I'm thinking 3.5 or 4 stars. 3.5 is what I rated the first Blade movie. I think I also rated Blade Trinity 3.5 earlier. I'll have to double check. So, like, on par with the Blade movies, I think I just enjoyed it a little bit more for that nostalgia factor. I'm not sitting here claiming to be unbiased in my opinions by any means. And that's a wrap on week 1. You guys, we made it through week 1 with, like, minimal... I didn't have to cram everything into one day. I'm a procrastinator, so that is something I'm worried about with this. That's why I wrote myself a calendar. I am a bit of a procrastinator, so like there is the possibility that I will just not watch things when I'm supposed to watch them. But my goal, even if I don't watch them the day that they're written for me to watch, which is not like a hard, I have to watch them that day, as long as I watch them in the week that I want to watch them, I should be okay. So we'll see how it goes moving forward. This week was a little bit lighter than a lot of the weeks. It was 4 movies. Next week is 4 movies. As we move forward, there will be some weeks where I expect myself to watch an entire season of a show, some of which is like way more hours, like because there were network shows that were on like ABC, and so those are longer. The Netflix shows are a little bit longer. Like the Disney Plus shows are about 6 hours each, I think, each season, I believe. So I could watch a few of those. That's like 3 movies. This week was a lighter week, is the summary. Good morning. It's not really morning. It is like 1 p.m., but I just got up a little while ago and I'm about to have my coffee and my breakfast, and I was going to watch X-Men while I did that. And then our DVD is missing. We have the case, but not the DVD. Luckily, it's streaming, so I'm not completely out of luck. I'm still gonna watch it. Welcome to week 2, day 3. But day 1 of watching anything, Sunday I was out all day, and then yesterday, Monday, I was dead to the world, kind of, because I was out all day on Sunday and it was hot. And I have a little bit of a sunburn, but I was watching them set up for filming a movie in Providence. They're filming Ghost Rider, which is a J.J. Abrams movie starring Glenn Powell. So I watched them set up for that. I didn't watch them film because they didn't start filming until it was nighttime, and I was not staying. I got there at like noon. I was not staying there literally all day. Y'all didn't need to know all of that. Anyway, what y'all do need to know is that I'm about to watch X-Men 2000. I grew up watching this X-Men. I haven't watched it in years though, so I don't really remember what happens. But I know that everybody ships Professor X, is that his name? Professor X and Magneto in this specific movie series. I don't know if that's a ship that happens everywhere, but I know it happens in this series. I'll check in later while I'm watching, I guess. Okay, hi. I don't know how that lighting looks because I can't see, but we're gonna assume it looks okay. I watched X-Men, the first one from 2000. I honestly kind of only half paid attention to it because I have seen it quite a few times, and it's never been one of my favorites, to be so honest with you. Sorry, I keep like moving. It's never been one of my favorites, but I still enjoyed it. Probably give it like 3 stars on Letterboxd. But because I've seen it a few times, I did start working on my first post. I had already edited the video. It's been done, but I wanted to give myself a little bit of wiggle room, so you will be seeing the vlogs like a couple of weeks after I've already watched them, which is part of why I keep saying, well, hello, it's week 2, day 3 or whatever, so that you guys like know where I am. Yeah, so X-Men 2000, good, classic, but not one of my favorites. And not really much to, I just like don't really have much to say about it. Hugh Jackman, like I know it was 25 years ago, so this makes sense, but he looks like a little baby. They all look so young, so much younger. Well, not Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart has looked the same for like as long as I've known him, which is my whole life. Anyway, I just looked it up to make sure he was still alive. He is still alive. But I grew up watching Patrick Stewart on Star Trek Next Generation, and then the X-Men movies, these X-Men movies specifically. So, you know, it's always fun to look at him, but I just feel like he hasn't aged much since I started watching him, which is funny because it has been 25 years. Anyway, that's it for X-Men Next Generation. And that's it for X-Men 2000. Just X-Men. Yeah, I have a couple of things to do, so I can't watch X-Men 2 yet, but I will be watching it later tonight, so I will check back in with you guys when I do that. Well, it's like 10 p.m. So you know what that means. Time to watch a movie. We are on to X2 today, as I'm supposed to be. I am on schedule again. Let's get into the movie. We'll see if I have anything more to say about X2 than I did X-Men, because I had next to nothing to say about X-Men, which is not great content, but we'll see how this one goes. So, X2, right? I'm about 45 minutes in, and they're driving away. They're driving away in Cyclops' car. And the kid, whose name I already forget, not Bobby, his friend, turns on the radio, and guess what starts playing? Bye 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 by NSYNC, I think it's NSYNC. So was the Bye 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 dance in the beginning of Deadpool and Wolverine, is that a callback to that? I don't think I ever would have noticed. This is why I enjoy like watching all of them like this, because I never would have even thought of that as a callback. I thought it was just like a fun song for them. Anyway, I think it's a callback, and I think that's fun. And even if it wasn't on purpose, it's fun, and I'm gonna pretend it was. So it is just now while watching this. I mean, I guess it makes sense. So Wolverine's skeleton and his claws are adamantium, and I don't know how I didn't pick up on this before. I just didn't remember what metal it was, I guess. But in Captain America Brave New World, I believe that's the metal that they're fighting over. The thing is, I don't think it was canon in the MCU that adamantium existed. Like, it's new in the 2025 movie Brave New World, so I don't know. Anyway, I guess I did not realize that somehow until an hour and a half into this movie that is largely about Wolverine wanting to know who he is and where he came from. But at least it didn't take me until, like, X-Men Origins Wolverine. This is why I'm doing this rewatch, you guys. I am drawing connections that I never would have made unless somebody told me otherwise. I never would have made them unless somebody told me, or by watching these movies. So that's really cool. That's really fun that the reason I'm doing this is valid. Okay, I think the movie's almost over, so I'll check back in a few minutes. I just finished X2. So far it is up there. I just logged it on Letterboxd as 3.5 stars, which so far nothing has gone above 3.5 stars. Maybe I'm being harsh, I don't know. I'm enjoying everything except for Howard the Duck, so I don't know, do with that what you will. X2 is currently ranked number 2 in my Letterboxd list, and I'm realizing that at the end of every week I should probably go over my current ranking because it'll change as I add stuff. So I'll do that at the end of this week. I like that I found a couple of little references. Whether or not the bye 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 one was on purpose, again, I don't know. I'm sure I could find someone confirming or denying it, but I haven't looked. And then the adamantium, which is absolutely on purpose, and I would assume it will be a part of Doomsday as they all come together to fight Doctor Doom, however they end up doing that. There's so many rumors flying around about the Doomsday set right now because they're filming. Anyway, it's like almost 1 a.m., so I'm a little tired, and I will be going to bed. I don't know where the accent came from. I'm gonna go to bed, and I will check in with you guys tomorrow so I can watch The Last Stand with you. And maybe I'll find some more references that I missed in newer movies. We'll see. I keep seeing edits of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on TikTok. I've seen like 10 today, I swear. And I just want to watch it so bad. But I have to wait until mid-October. I have like 6 weeks, I think, until I can start watching it. Hi. It is week 2, day 4. And oh, this just made me so nostalgic.
Please tell me that's not already.
Not the Ice Age commercial. Anyway, it is week 2, day 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, day 4. Wednesday. Right? Yeah, I think today's Wednesday. And I am about to watch X-Men The Last Stand, which is the 3rd X-Men movie. But this is my second to last movie for this week. It does feel, going into this, like the first couple of weeks don't feel like I'm doing that much. I don't know. I feel like it's because it's just movies these first couple of weeks. I don't think I get into shows until like October. I think it's a couple of months before I get into any shows. I could be wrong. I'm not looking at a calendar right now, but I think it's a little while because it's a little while before Marvel started making them. And I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was the first one, and then the Netflix shows followed Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If you hear that weird noise, it was my laptop. I don't know. It's supposed to be asleep, so I don't know why it's making noise. Yeah, so I think it's because it's just a bunch of movies that it doesn't feel like I'm doing that much. But as soon as I get into the shows, I'm gonna be struggling, I'm sure, a little bit, but hopefully not too much. Anyway, I'm gonna watch the nostalgic trailers that play before this movie. Yeah, so I will check in a little bit. I'm sure I'll have things to say about this movie. People ship Magneto and Charles Xavier, right? They ship Eric and Charles because Eric just said, "My single greatest regret is that he had to die for our dream to live." And that's more than brothers. Sorry, that's more than best friends. That is something else entirely. And look, if you find me looking up fanfiction about them later. Also, the actress who plays Jean Grey, whose name I'm sorry I don't know, I didn't look it up first. She is so pretty. I think I had a crush on Jean Grey back in the day, but I didn't process that. I just thought I wanted to be her. You know? One of those. Yeah, I don't really have that many thoughts on this movie. So far, I'm like an hour in. I just wanted to say that I think they're in love. This is probably my least favorite X-Men movie so far, so I feel like it's supposed to be a little more emotional, a little darker, like hit a little harder. And it just kind of falls flat for me. I don't know. I'm just not really feeling it. Okay, so first 3 X-Men movies are done. We watched them. I'm gonna rate this one. I already rated it on Letterboxd. 2.5 stars. I don't know, something about this one is just not as good to me, which seems to be the general consensus, so at least I'm not alone on that. Scott Summers really, that's his name, right? Summers? I know it's Scott. Cyclops deserved better. James Marsden deserved better. Why did that character have, like, nothing in all 3 movies? It feels like the X-Men movies are just Wolverine movies with some side characters. Sorry, that's my laptop. It doesn't really feel like they're about the team as a whole, for the most part. I ended up putting it, like, right above Howard the Duck, because it's still better than Howard the Duck, but below everything else I've watched so far, which is 8 movies total so far. But you know what else I did while I was watching the end of this, because I just I couldn't sit here and not do anything. Look what I did. Percent watched in runtime, and yes, it is different than percent watched based on projects. So in my intro video, which hasn't gone up at this point, but in my intro video I do literally say I haven't done that yet because it's a little more complicated. By the time that it goes up, the video is already edited and like drafted. It is scheduled to post on YouTube on September 1st. So I will not be editing it to add that I did that. I will put it in the caption maybe, but the template link will be on that video, so it'll just be there for anyone who wants it from the template. I also made the template look like a little bit cleaner, just a little bit. Ooh, I forgot to do one part. Anyway, I did that though while I was watching this, so that's nice. I enjoyed getting that done. Tomorrow is scheduled calendar day off, but maybe I'll watch Hulk tomorrow, maybe I'll watch it on Friday. I haven't decided yet. This is unrelated to anything, but look at what my Roku is showing me. Because it just came out on Disney Plus today. I do already have it on DVD, but I enjoy getting the ad. Hi. Welcome to week 2, day 6. Day 6. I was gonna say day 5. It's day 6. I'm about to watch Hulk 2003, so not The Incredible Hulk, but Hulk 2003. I'm trying to figure out what this is an ad for. Oh, Battlestar Galactica. Okay, that makes sense. I got this on DVD from my library, so there's ads playing beforehand. There was Too Fast, Too Furious, and then Sinbad, the animated movie. I don't know if anybody else watched that, but I loved that movie as a kid. And then Battlestar Galactica, the series on DVD, and now some Jim Carrey movie, Bruce Almighty, which I've never seen and will never see based on the muted trailer. I can't pause it, so I just muted it. This is the last movie for the week, which also means that it's the last movie for this vlog. I started editing the clips I've already filmed of this vlog, and I talk a lot to the point where Premiere keeps crashing on me, which we love. Yeah, I guess let's watch Hulk 2003. I'll come back with any commentary that I have. Bruce Banner in this version is born with the radiation. His dad experimented on himself and passed it down to Bruce, and that's interesting to me. I didn't know that was a variation of Bruce Banner, but I mean, he hasn't like hulked out at all, so I don't think it's the full effect, but considering he's now a scientist experimenting with radiation, so I'm guessing that's imminent. That has happened a couple of times in this movie so far, and it's a little weird. Not bad, but it's a choice. So for the editing that I was like, that's interesting, that I showed you guys the like squares and stuff, I realized after looking at Letterboxd comments that it's very comic book. Like, it feels like you're watching a comic book. And after I saw somebody else say that in a review, I was like, oh, that's what it felt like. So I get why they did that now. I gave it 3 stars. I put it in between Blade 2 and one of the X-Men movies, I think, on my ranking. I'll go over my whole ranking. I'll probably film like a wrap up and like a nicer intro to weeks 1 and 2, but I'll film that and I'll go over all the stats and my ranking currently so that you guys like can stay up to date with that without having to go check it yourselves. Although these videos will be coming out like 2-ish weeks after I've watched stuff, so it's not totally up to date. There's a bit of a lag there, but I think that's all I really have for thoughts on the Hulk. Not even the Hulk. Hulk. Thoughts on Hulk 2003. The Jennifer Connelly and fighter jets made me want to go rewatch Top Gun Maverick because she's in it and there's fighter jets. Like, the whole point of the movie is that they're Navy pilots. If you don't know me, you don't know that I love that movie. Yeah, that's it. So thanks for joining me for the first 2 weeks. Like I said, I'll film a better wrap up, but this is the last like little vlog. And that's super fun. This is my first video. It's all done. I am in fact filming this 2 seconds after filming the intro. It's just easier. What I want to do is go over what I watched this vlog and what I thought of everything, where my Letterboxd ranking is, and the stats on the spreadsheet. So let's go to my lists on Letterboxd. This week I watched, as you saw, Howard the Duck, the Blade Trilogy, Hulk, 3 X-Men movies, and Daredevil. And not in that order, but I haven't added this to the spreadsheet yet, but I'm going to. Sorry, I meant to do it before I filmed this and I forgot until literally just now. I'm going to add a rating column for what I've rated the movies so that I can kind of find some stats on that, like the average rating of each phase and the highest rated things, the lowest rated things, whatever. I'm going to add that to my spreadsheet. I'm not going to add it to the template, but I'm going to add it to my personal spreadsheet. Anyway, so I'm doing this Marvel movie marathon list on Letterboxd, which I have to make public. It's still private. Currently, at number 9, we have Howard the Duck, which I rated 2 stars. Honestly, that's generous. I might change it to 1 star. I'm sorry, I did not like it. I did not like it. The more I think about it, the less I like it. Coming in at number 8, we have X-Men The Last Stand, which I gave 2.5 stars. It's okay. It's fine. It's not my favorite. Blade 2 is coming in at the next one with 3 stars. Hulk 2003, also 3 stars. The first X-Men movie, also 3 stars. The first Blade movie, 3.5 stars. Blade Trinity, 3.5 stars. X2, 3.5 stars. And then Daredevil at number 1 with 3.5 stars. And the only reason Daredevil is at number 1, I'm going to be so for real with you, is because of Evanescence being on its soundtrack and Ben Affleck being a Massachusetts guy. I have biases. I never claimed to be unbiased in these rankings. Okay, so that's my Letterboxd. That's where we're at. I'm not going to go through the whole list every time, obviously, but I think I'll just, depending on where I ranked things for the week, go through some of it. All right, let's go to my stats. So I have watched 50% of Phase 0, both in projects and runtime. Okay, I'll just put in a screenshot or something of it. I've watched 50% both in projects and runtime of Phase 0. Overall, in the total category, I've watched 7% of the projects, but only 3% based on runtime, which just shows you how long some of those series are going to be, some of those TV series are going to be, and how much an impact that's going to have. Yeah, I've watched 9 movies. There's 18 in Phase 0. So I have 9 more left to go. I think it is another 2 weeks exactly. Yep, another 2 weeks exactly. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I am excited to keep going. I am a little nervous that I'm gonna run out of steam with this, with the editing part of this, but I guess we'll see. Let me know what your thoughts on these movies are, if you've seen them. If you haven't, did this inspire you to watch them? Or are you watching this so that you don't have to watch stuff because you'll understand some stuff? I'm not putting enough spoilers in that I think it'll actually help you understand anything, but at the end of this series, right before Doomsday is coming out, I do have extra time allotted, and there is a very, very good chance that I will put together and film little recaps of everything that you need to know, that I think you'll need to know going into Doomsday, except we won't actually know what you need to know for sure going into Doomsday until we've watched it. So I might save that for after I've watched Doomsday, because I'm definitely going to go see it in theaters. I will probably go see it more than once. That's it. Let me know what your favorite movie from this vlog is, what your least favorite movie from this vlog is, just your general thoughts on these movies, and which movies you're most excited to see me watch. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a marvelous day. See what I did there?